I'm looking forward to this preview of the topic because this is just a segue into something we really gonna get into in depth and in detail next week, which we'll get into a little bit here in a minute and break that down how that's gonna look. Right? It's not gonna be just Klip Eastwood over here rapping. I'm gonna have the opportunity to do what we do on Great Beards Matter and why we're here in this series, which is the Survivor Series. All right, cool. So we about 5 minutes on the clock of ticking. See, that's why we give it a chance to breathe, so we can turn off the notifications. I apologize. That's very rude of me. Not very professional, but we in here. We're gonna take another sip of this fine high quality H2O I'm drinking. That's good. Great beer. I'm telling you, great beers matter everywhere. You see us in the back. Thanks to my man, baby boy. Yeah, you see this. You see the logo. You know, I got it on me. Right. What you think? Y'all give him another minute or come on or get busy? What you want to do? Because it's really more of an informational about what we're gonna get into next week. But we can get busy though, because I'm ready. I'm gonna do whatever you say you on, DJ. What you think? Give me some feedback. What you want to do? But I got a special request for everybody. And I'm really being a hypocrite because I don't even know how to do it on mine, which I really need to figure out how to do this. Let me see here. There it is. Okay, how about that, Eastwood? Okay, I'm with that. I ain't in no rush. I ain't even no rush tonight. Again, man, yo, what's up with this damn Facebook, man? Talking about close unused applications, but we're not. We just gonna rank. We gonna crank, man, because it did us that. It did us last time for that. But anyway, what I did is I posted up purple hearts, right? And purple is the color of domestic violence. So if you're rocking what we're talking about as far as the topic, the bullet points in the topic you're looking forward to next week, that's how we respond today. I need purple hearts, purple strong. I need purple something. We acknowledging domestic abuse today and next week. And I look forward to talking about it. It's a topic that's overlooked, not spoke on enough, and I'll be damn, goddamn it. We're gonna get busy. We're gonna talk about it. And hopefully we can open some doors for salvation wouldn't be the right word, but we're gonna go with that instead. But we're not gonna get early. Like my homegirl say, yo, hold up, give him a minute. Okay, cool. You rocking with me? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, DJ. Purple hearts in the comments. Purple is for domestic violence. We acknowledging it. For sure. I'm with it. You good, Deej? What's happening with us? What we on today? I'm encouraging you to drink some more water, Deej. I know you have some today, but we drinking some more. And because I'm thirsty, I know I ain't drinking enough today. But it's cool, though. It's saying we got 4 viewers. We're going to give them 50 more seconds and we're going to get busy. We're going to cut the music, the non-copyright, and do what we do. We up to 5. What's good with it? I really wish I could see who was all in here with us. But welcome to the Gray Beards Matter podcast. We're going to get busy in 5 or about 30 seconds. If you look into the comments, you see the purple hearts. The purples for domestic violence. Please acknowledge and respond accordingly with the purple hearts that you see on your own. You did? So if you're here tonight rocking with the Gray Beards Matter podcast, before we get started, let me get them purple hearts in the group comments. And then we're going to get busy. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? It's your man, Big Klip Eastwood, a.k.a. Mr. Gray Beards Matter. And this is the Gray Beards Matter podcast, episode 28, where we are the mature authority. You dig? And tonight's topic is really overdue. I can't say that. All of them are overdue when we talk about them, right? And I look forward to talking to them or talking about them. And tonight's topic, the title is "Keep Your Hands to Your Effing Self." I'm gonna try not to curse too much in this area, but this can get kind of emotional, right? Because I know women who have gone through it. I know men who have gone through it. And with that, let's be very clear. It is not anything that is race-based. It is not anything that is gender-specific, age-specific, or culturally specific. It happens. And I'd be damned if I didn't say it is not sexual preference specific. To each his own. But it happens, right? And it shouldn't. Keep your hands to yourself. And we're going to talk a little bit. And it's not about the Gray Beards Matter podcast choosing sides. We're just choosing truth, right? And again, before next week when I bring my guest on, who will be for the integrity of her, because I rock with her. And her story is very specific, and I really don't trust social media and them trying to get into their personal business by bringing them on in that capacity, right? And she's not comfortable. So if she's not comfortable, and I'm telling her this is a safe space and it's not going to be comfortable, we're going to call her Angela. That's what we're going to call her next week. No, that's not her real name, so I'll go try to figure out who it is. But that's what we're going to call her next week. And we will interview her from an audio base, right? And I look forward to it. She's going to tell her story. Tonight's conversation is centered around domestic abuse because that's a story we'll hear next week, like I stated. But let's be very clear from the beginning, domestic abuse doesn't discriminate. Women, men, people in same-sex relationships, older adults, and even teenagers can be and all become victims, right? Tonight we're going to talk about the issue. I look forward to it. So, next week we're going to hear about one survivor's journey, providing everything goes just right, and we can get her on due to her availability and my availability, but I'm going to try my best to make that happen. And her journey, which I have a little bit of insight on, is one that I believe that can be, sympathize for. But understand this here, she's not looking for sympathy. She's not looking for empathy. She just has a story to tell. And I'm going to speak for her early, and she can correct me next week if I'm wrong, but I believe that her testimony about her story is to benefit herself, yeah, because it's therapeutic, but to others who have gone through, or are going through, or possibly will go through. It's not about Gray Beards Matter choosing sides. It's about, like I said, choosing truth. And our goal isn't to judge. Our goal is to understand what's cracking. Because we really don't. Nothing that I personally subscribe to. I'm not going to be a abuser, nor will I be abused. But that doesn't mean that everybody has had that fortunate circumstance to be in that position. So because that's not the case, we're going to talk about it. Um, and in that, we will have the understanding how to uh, help the healing begin, right? This week and next week's conversation can be uncomfortable, and it may be uncomfortable, and for some it will be. But sometimes the conversations that make us uncomfortable are the ones that we need, and probably need them the most. So we're gonna talk about it. We got anybody in here before we get started? What's good with it? Everybody, y'all, we see the purple hearts in the comments. Please let me see your purple hearts, right? And I'll be crazy and cheating myself if I ain't say, hey, if you miss this live, it'll be on the page for a couple of days, but we're gonna be on YouTube and it'll be on Spotify too. If you go to Gray Beards Matter Podcast, like, share, subscribe, and I promise you it'll be up there. What's today? Thursday. I try to get them up there by Saturday morning. Um, if not by Sunday, it'll be on the Gray Beards Matter YouTube page and the Gray Beards Matter Spotify page, and it'll be here on Klip Eastwood page and the Gray Beards Matter Podcast page on Facebook as well. So over there, I got 10 bullet points that I want to talk about, right? And they're just bullet points. We're not going to get too heavy into it because that's what next week is for. If you can dig, if you can feedback, I mean, if you got some feedback on it, by all means, I'm with that. Let me refresh these comments and see what's up. Yo, what's good, big bro? My man, Big Chuck, is in the building, man. Y'all see my guy. He's always here supporting this man. And I appreciate you, good brother. We talking about domestic abuse tonight, good brother. And tough conversations. Not sometimes, they need to be had. DJ said some victims don't feel the need to tell their side of the story, but they do feel the need to help others going through the same thing. Oh, absolutely. I agree with you 1,000%. Right. I'm also going to say that some abusers, some of the abused, don't share their story for fear of judgment. Right. But um, I don't care who I interview. This is safe, and if I ever catch wind of somebody doing that here in the Gray Beards Matter podcast space, then that's not happening. You can see a different side of Klip Eastwood because I'm big homie here for sure, and I don't subscribe to the other components of it, right? So we understand that domestic abuse isn't just physical. It's mental, it's social, it's emotional. All those forms of abuse fall under that domestic umbrella of abuse, right? And we can talk about it, right? And it's not anything that we need to rush through because it's a sensitive topic. But again, tonight it's kind of like it's a segue. It's a segue post or a segue pod where we are allowing folks to understand how we really gonna get busy with it, how we gonna touch on some things, and the person that has allowed me to honor them by sharing their story is dope, man. Right? Not just because I rock with the victim or the survivor, excuse me, but because it's a story that she has the courage to come out and tell. So I'm with that. I'm with that 1,000%, and that's what the hell we're trying to do. Hey, what's good, yo? Bro, what's good with you? We just talking our talk, man. We bringing it to the table, man. Yo, Noop, I appreciate you. Yo, my guy, man. Y'all don't even know what Grand Crew on. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, I miss you so much, my guy. For sure, man. You know what it is with us. Out the gate, man. We scratch every time. But we're going to get back to it good. We're going to talk about the 10 talking points according to the Gray Beards Matter podcast. And over dig again, I say it every week. I say it several times during the week. It's not my way, just my opinion. Right? But even with that, that goes to me. I had another conversation just yesterday. We will have some subject matter experts in certain topics that we um, don't want to overindulge ourselves in, like we're talking 100% facts, right? We will have people, personnel coming on there with mental health. We'll have physicians come on here. We'll have financial advisors come on, and several of them are on deck. But next week, it's something totally different. Again, the title of tonight's episode 28 is "Keep Your Hands to Your Motherfucking Self," right? First bullet point, we're gonna say abuse is about control, right? It's not anger. Some people say that they just lost their temper. No, abuse is a pattern of gaining and maintaining control over another human being. The violence is the system. Control is the goal. And hey, if that's bullet point one. If you want to make a comment about one of them in the comments, for sure, I'm here. I'm here for it. But if you make a comment about a particular one, yo, put the number that you're talking about so we can reference it, so we can go back to it. Again, not my way, just my opinion. Number one, again, some people say they just lost their temper. Nah, homie, it's a pattern. Somebody trying to gain control over someone else. Number two, like we stated before, abuse isn't always physical. Some talk about emotional abuse, verbal abuse, financial control, isolation from the family, intimidation, threats, tracking phones or whatever kind of devices you have. You destroy somebody's confidence and self-esteem and making someone believe that they deserve what you've given them. Right? And again, I'm gonna do my best not to get too caught up in the topic because to me, it take a real sucker to try to break somebody down that way. But that's me, right? I don't subscribe to it. I can't imagine my daughters, my sister, my my home. I can't. I don't function with that, right? It take a sucker, man or woman, to get in that space where you feel that you have to be that type of influence in somebody else's life, right? Because over dig, right? So in today's time, we try to use influencer like it's always a positive thing, but that's not the case. That's not the case, and this is one of those examples where that doesn't always fit. Point number three, they say, why don't they just leave? Mm. Let me ask you this, right? If you can, if you got the, if you have the lack of empathy or the lack of understanding or the lack of courage to go holler at them or help them, um, and you ask the question, why don't they just leave? Let me ask you this: why doesn't the abuser just stop abusing? Is it fear? Is it children? Is it finances? Is it embarrassment, threats, trauma, bonding, or hope that things will change? But when you take somebody's esteem and you try to badger them mentally and emotionally, and you try to make them feel that they less than, and that you the only saving grace, then yeah, you isolate them from their support factors that they had before you, or if they didn't have any, you try to make it seem like you're that person that's providing the support, then that person that's being abused on occasion, I can't give you specifics, but on occasion, won't think they have any other outlet. So they're referring to the only thing that they deem as attention or love, good, bad, or indifferent. Okay, we on number four, but we're gonna get to the comments because I'm seeing my fellow Newt come in here and he says there are a host of DV supports from the DMV area. The DV goes both ways, and most don't speak on that. For sure, good brother. For sure, I definitely co-sign with you on that. Next week, I will have several support factor listings that I can share with the group. Um, for those chiming in the beginning before we get on with our interviewee, and I definitely made mention that DV goes both ways. all sexes, all ages, all races. Dead. So as a matter of fact, good brother, number four is men can be victims too, right? For sure. DJ says three. I appreciate you listening to the game, baby. Uh, um, DJ says, let me see here. I'll go back. Leaving is not as easy as it may seem. People don't have the resources to get to a safe place. Some don't have the support of family and friends, etc. And that's a very sad thing, D. That's a very sad thing, right? So this kind of goes back to a topic that we had a couple weeks ago, right? When somebody is going through. A lot of times, people who are in domestic violence situations don't have the wherewithal to let it be known to somebody else for fear of being abused even more, right? Or harsher, right? And then we, as those who say that we know who's going on around us with our people, don't know, right? Or the abuser will do just enough to not let that person be seen right after the abuse, or they'll abuse them in ways that can't be seen physically to the naked eye. You can't see emotional or mental or spiritual abuse externally, right? You have to really dig deep and understand through conversation and observations, if you really, really rock with somebody, how they've changed. But if that person is so tormented that they don't share that, a lot of times people won't know. And then if they don't share that, then they have to go through it even longer. And sometimes those situations end up irreversible, which is, messed up. My man Big Chuck says, one of my loved ones went through bad abuse and was scared to tell me because they knew the outcome. Some victims are scared and lost in which direction to go. You're absolutely right, dear brother. Hey, Big Chuck, I co-sign with you on. See, that's the crazy part about it, right? So Big Chuck, was your people saving you or saving the person that was abusing them? Because I've seen in the past that the person being abused won't tell a resource, i.e., family, close friends, loved ones, what's going on, because they know, like you said, the outcome. It's not. I, mm, yeah, it's whatever. I'm with it. If my daughters, my married daughter, and my soon-to-be married daughter, congratulations, Pooh, cheeks, um, ever call their daddy and be like, yo, their husband abused them, yo, right? If my sister ever calls me and been like, yo, her boyfriend abused them, all right, we always try to conduct ourselves in a safe space. So this is a quick Eastwood moment. So I'm not going to set a time frame, but uh, I have moved back home, and my sister's boyfriend, father of my niece and nephew, right? Uh, I wasn't there for the beginning of the relationship, so whatever. But I'm big bro, right? And I don't. My sister is G, right? As far as women go, cause she her mama daughter. She my little sister. She know what's good with it. Um, I had never really seen her emotionally caught up, right? Um, to where tears may or may not have come down, right? So they came into the restaurant where we were, impatiently waiting. My mother and I, kind of gives you a time frame if you know me. And dude comes in, has the seat like it's all good, but I see my sister in what I thought was distress. Um, let's just say it was uh, it was one of them moments in life where you everybody's fortunate, right? Um, because I wasn't trying to hear anything. I wasn't listening to my mom. I wasn't listening to my sister, and it was a direct conversation. Yo, what's up, cuz? Um, I ain't got a bunch of rap. This is what's, you know, and you make certain movements to handle certain situations because you thought certain situations was what it was, but it ended up not being the case. So I'm glad things didn't go where they were headed. Duh. So I say all that to say I understand what you're saying, Big Chuck. My kids, my family, my loved ones know, oh, hey, man, don't even call him with the play. You know, I understand every relationship has its ups and downs. I got no problem. Mine ain't no different, right? Well, we don't do the abuse shit. We don't put your hands on nobody, right? And then I got two boys too, and brides don't be putting your hands on them for sure, cause they mamas, they sisters ain't hearing that. We're not going for it. It's not what we do. You can holler at us, cuss at us, say we ain't whatever. No, it's all good. Keep your mother hands to yourself. But before we get on to number 5, let me see if anybody else has anything here that we can share. Cause Big Chuck answered the question for sure. I'm already shot with good brother. But that's crazy though. That's crazy though, Big Chuck. You say that she saved them from you, the person that's causing the abuse. That's mind-boggling to me, right? But I get it because they've been brainwashed in such a manner that they don't know no better, right? And it's sad, bro. And I'm really trying not to get over into it this week because I don't want to take away from a person's opportunity to share some things that we could talk about. But I do believe her story will be for those who have seen or observed, heard. You will, we will see common denominators in certain stories, but every story is going to be different, and they have their highs and the lows with it, right? And it's still down for sure. All right. Um, no, we're on number 4 because we didn't get into it. Number 4 is men can be victims too. Acknowledge that women are disproportionately affected by severe domestic violence, while also recognizing that men can be victims and often stay silent because they're afraid that they won't be believed or they'll be mocked, right? Because we have this bravado image in us. We got this. I'm a man. You hear me? You know what I mean? And it ain't really cool to say that your old lady is going upside your head, right? Because you come out the house and you get around your men folk, you miss the Himothy, right? But inside you struggling because the person that's supposed to be your person is taking advantage of the situation because you a man and you won't give back what you're getting. And then that becomes cyclic, right? But again, all that doesn't have to be physical. We given other examples of how the abuse can be, right? A man might have got laid off, and then she's holding that over his head. He has nowhere else to go. Then she gets to talking about, you less than, or why can't you? You're not man enough. You ain't a man. I'm holding you down. Now your self-esteem is a boom. But really, sometimes, in any case, man or woman, man, that abuse can create triggers. And we already know what you squeeze the trigger too much, that tension, right? and the pounds and the pressure. But then it's not always going to be against them. Some people just can't handle it. They choose another way out. Mm. All right, number 5. Abuse affects children even if they aren't being hit. Children hear arguments. Children see fear for sure. And children learn relationships by watching adults. And that's crazy, right? So when they see the adults do what they do, what do you think they're gonna do next when they get older? They're gonna repeat it because they think it's normal, or they feel that that's their way of expression, right? Abuse people sometimes abuse people because that's the only way that they can get their shit off. Excuse my language, mama. And it's unfortunate, right? But sometimes people who are abused are going through and they don't have an outlet. When they don't have an outlet, anybody can get it because they are just in a place of turmoil and chaos that they just don't know whether they're coming or going. Number 6, red flags usually appear long before the punch. Damn. Right? You know, for example, they discuss jealousy disguised as love. Checking the phone like, yo, what's on your joint? Who's this? Trying to isolate, controlling money. That means you control your activities, where you can go, how you spend, what you put how you spend, controlling what you wear, demanding your passwords. Yo, let me get that. Right? Don't use the thumbprint no more. I need the code. What's your swipe and all that to get inside the person to see what you're doing when you're not around them. Crazy work. I don't care. Right? What am I worried for? Not. Threatening self-harm if somebody leaves. Constant criticism. That's the mental component of it. And people should learn to recognize the signs early and not take it for granted that that's just in the moment. But one time, all right, cool. I think we all go through that. But if it's repetitive, when it's persistent, when it's intentionally to try to prove a point or make a point or demand their way of thinking, then you need to be cognizant of what's going on around you, right? 7, real strength is self-control. Speak directly to men. Being bigger, being louder, being stronger. Don't make you a man. I know a bunch of big suckers, right? Softer than baby ass. Doesn't make you a man. Sometimes women make more than they men. Doesn't make you greater than. Doesn't make him less than. You know the whole, what's what we used to call him back in the day? The nursery rhyme, Jack Spratt could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean. I've seen a bunch of little men get tossed in the corner by their significant other, right? Or lady says, I grew up with my brothers. I'm with all the smoke. Calm that nonsense down, man. What are you trying to prove? What's the proof? What's the point? Right? It doesn't make you a man, woman. It doesn't make a man a bigger man because he tries to mark out a woman. It's a sucker. All right. Calm down, Eastwood. All right. We're going to calm down. We're going to calm down a little bit. What we doing here? You got any more love out here? All right. Number 8, we're getting right on through. Friends and families have a responsibility too. So we got to be really, really conscious of how we say this, right? Because saying that friends and family have a responsibility, they can live up to that responsibility when they're in proximity, right? And proximity doesn't always mean be in the space, right? Because a phone call is something else. But then that phone goes a lot of places for a lot of different reasons, and sometimes that's all that's needed. But anyhow, someone trusts you enough to tell you that they're being abused. One, don't doubt it. That's not a BS confession, right? Believe them. If someone says they're being abused, listen to them. If somebody says they're being abused and they're looking for help, I charge you to help them devise a plan so they can get to safety. Them, if they have children, and their children. Um, and if you really rock with them, it's not anything they got to worry about being ashamed about. They was fearful enough or fed up enough or desperate enough to come to you. Who the are you to shame them for being in a domestic situation? So ask yourself, why didn't you know about it earlier, right? Why couldn't they come to you earlier? Why didn't they feel comfortable? What kind of friend weren't you? Before you go shaming somebody, that sucks too. And like we said earlier, if they come to you, you got to really understand that you provide support can save their lives, possibly. And I don't know what greater gift you can give that person other than helping them save them lives, helping them save their lives. So as we transition, understand that number 9 is healing doesn't happen overnight. Just because they say they want help, doesn't mean it's gonna happen the very next day, right? You don't cold turkey abuse, any type of abuse. If and we're gonna keep it fun. I'm gonna give you the biggest example. If I get into an altercation and I dot somebody up, they're not gonna heal. And let's just say it was Monday. Come Tuesday, it's not gonna be an all right situation. They're not gonna be like, all right, I'm back in the game, coach. No, it's not gonna happen that way. So understand that abuse, like we stated, isn't always physical. You don't heal the next day. Um, After somebody leaves, fear can remain. Anxiety or stress can remain. The guilt of staying so long can remain. Um, and getting through the abuse physically or in the moment, I'm not going to say physically, in the moment doesn't mean that when they decide to leave, that it's over. That's not the finish line. Getting through the abuse is, like you stated, putting that person in recovery mode. And they're going to need support. And number 10, last but not least for right now, keep your hands to your mother self. If you love somebody, protect them. If you're angry, walk away. If you can't control yourself, you need to get some help. It doesn't matter who you are. There is never, ever a reason to put your hands on someone you claim to love. Keep your hands in yourself. So overdid. Next week we're not talking about domestic abuse. We're sitting down with someone who has lived it. You'll hear her firsthand what it's like, what it took to survive, and what life looks like on the other side. Over there. If you know someone who needs to hear that, you need to tell them to tune in or share the episode with them. And join us next Thursday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Gray Beards Matter Podcast. We are the mature authority. Keep your hands here, sound. Help somebody. If you see it, be there. Don't run. Don't shame. It's your man, Big Klip Eastwood, aka Mr. Graybeard's Matter. Keep your hands here, sound. And I'm out.